My name's Amy. I am a junior studying economics and global health and health policy, and I'm taking OEB52 because plants are awesome. Okay, so for my project, I made a breakup album by repurposing an old vinyl record that I actually got from this awesome store just down the street, In Your Ear in Cambridge. And this breakup album is titled It's Not You, It's Me. And what it basically does is it walks through the plant life cycle, going from the green algae to the bryophytes to the lycophytes and the ferns, and then to the gymnosperms and then the angiosperms. And each of these stages kind of represents a different stage of the relationship between the gametophyte and the sporophyte. And so I kind of picked common songs, love songs that I thought would do a good job of representing the different stages of their romance and then the loss of their love. And so to tell you a little bit about that, to flip this over. And here you can see Lonely Boy is what I picked to represent the green algae because it's just a single haploid gametophyte that's kind of finding him all alone in this giant vast ocean. And I've personified him as kind of searching for love, and that's why I think the song by the Black Keys really captures that very well. The second song is Sweet Disposition by the Temper Trap, and that's featuring the bryophytes. And this song is supposed to capture the emotions that the gametophyte feels as he moves onto land and meets the diploid sporophyte, aka the love of his life, for the very first time. So it's as if he's found his other half, because that's the other half of the life cycle. And slowly a sporophyte moves into his life, and this is where you really see alternation of generations coming into play. And the third song I picked to represent the lycophytes and the ferns is All My Loving by the Beatles. It's a great song if you haven't heard it. And what this song really captures is how the honeymoon phase of the relationship, and about how I say here that their lives become inextricably intertwined. Both stay free living, but the gametophyte and the sporophyte really, like, their lives start to become very closely intertwined, and the sporophyte really takes the spotlight and becomes the central focus of the gametophyte's life, and that's where you see this transition from the persistent gametophyte to the transient gametophyte. And then moving on to Draw Your Swords, this is when our gymnosperms take center stage, and it's about how the gametophyte and the sporophyte are fighting, and they're fighting, and they're fighting, and they're fighting, because the gametophyte has felt like his entire identity has been consumed by the sporophyte. So tensions rise, and slowly their relationship kind of reaches a decline. And finally, we reach Let It Go by James Bay, featuring the angiosperms. And really, this is when the sporophyte has decided that it's time to move on. They've grown to mean so much to one another as time has gone on, but they've just become such huge parts of each other's lives, and the sporophyte has really needed to grow on her own. And so in this stage, the gametophyte has become just a simple 7-cell, 8 nuclei little organism that is kind of just a memory of the love that they shared together. So that is the relationship between the gametophyte and the sporophyte. And yeah, but I would love to now, if I could, perform a little piece that I repurposed. It's Let It Go by James Bay, and there's only about 30 seconds.
Can we see the record too? Just that, like, yeah.
This? Oh, this one? Yeah,
hold on.
absolutely.
Beautiful.
Great. Cool. So I'm going to pull up these lyrics. Okay. I'm a little nervous. If someone actually could scroll... Actually, I can figure this out. Awesome. All right. Sorry about that. From chasing lands and talking plans, making spores in evening clothes with you, from swimming sperm to pollen bursts, to growing tall and seeing fall with you. And now we're slipping at the edge, holding something we don't need. Oh, this delusion in our stems is gonna bring us to our knees. So come on, let it go. Just let it be. Why don't you be you? And I'll be me. Everything that's broke, leave it to the breeze. Why don't you be you? And I'll be me. And I'll be me. Okay, and that is a little piece of Let It Go by James Bay featuring the angiosperms. If I could talk a little bit about the creative process. I basically started off my day by going to the record store, and I thought, I don't know what it is, but vinyl records are a huge fad right now, and I also love music very, very much. And so I thought a great way, when I thought about the rise of the sporophyte, I'd always looked at it for some reason as two romantic players in this relationship that was never going to work because the sporophyte was always going to outgrow this gametophyte. And so when I thought about how I wanted to capture this relationship, a breakup album made the most sense to me for some reason. And so I started out just by painting over all of these things, and you can see the old record in the back. Jackson Browne, Hold Out, 99 cents at in your ear. But I kind of repurposed it. It doesn't actually work if you try and put it on a turntable, so don't try it. But then I went through my Spotify playlist and tried to think about all of my favorite songs that captured these stages of a relationship that I think is super powerful. And that's really what I did. Tried to tell the story that way. Yeah. So, why did I choose this medium to answer the question? I think I just tried to answer that question. I chose this medium because I think music speaks very loudly, and I also think that I love painting and I love playing music. I'm not too great at either, but I thought that both of these mediums combined could do a good job of capturing the visual and auditory components of this life cycle. So that was my project. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed.